2003 Subaru Legacy Outback. Yes, they are Mustang wheels. This is not the only set of Mustang wheels this car has seen in its life. I just absolutely love them. My cousin had a set on his SG Forester a while back, and it was the 5 split spoke style that you'd get on the SN94 GTs. I saw a set of these up for sale, and I'm like, wonder how well this would work on my car. Turned out to be the classiest looking wheels I've put on it so far.
Well, that's kind of funny that you have rear wheel drive wheels on this car, and this car is
rear wheel drive.
Why?
It all started whenever I was just getting into drifting. I was in the process of either getting a Mustang or just convert my wagon to rear wheel drive and see what happens, see how dailyable it is. I've seen people make these cars rear wheel drive, but they've only been Imprezas and Foresters. Like down in Australia, they are big into the Subaru drifting. So far, it's worked out pretty well. It's just 02 WRX transmission, welded center diff, and it's waiting on a 390 welded WRX rear diff. It's still on the stock 411 LSD.
How long of a process was it, and where did you start?
The process wasn't too long. It was just finding time to get it all into the car at once. I bought the transmission separately, so at the time I just took it apart, took the center diff out. Welding the center diff took maybe a night, not even. I just left it out, left the transmission apart until we went to go put the transmission into it, and then from there it was just a weekend process. Since then it's been like butter almost, other than it being a WRX transmission.
And you daily it?
Oh, absolutely. Daily it everywhere. I drive up to Darlington every now and again to see my buddy, and that's a good like 80 miles right there.
Yeah.
I used to drive to Wexford for work all the time. I go to my Graham's, Dad's, everywhere with this car. It has not skipped a beat, other than the one time I tried showing off and I inevitably blew an axle apart. That's not the strong point of these cars, are the axles.
And it's lowered.
Of course, it's lowered about from like 6 inches from stock on Godspeed Monomax coilovers. I bought these years ago. They need to be changed out soon. Still doing their work for now. I've definitely got my money's worth out of them.
What else did you have to change up front?
Other than disassembling the hub side of the axle, basically you just cut the stub off of the axle, slap it in there, and then just torque it back to spec like it would just be a normal axle in there. Luckily for me, I had the male style transmission, so I didn't have to take apart the other side of the axle just to plug in the front diff hole for it.
So what's under the hood?
Nothing major, just a 2.5 liter out of an Impreza, out of a 2000 Impreza wagon. It's got a lightweight flywheel in it, maybe about 11.5, 12 pound flywheel, and a Perrin lightweight crank pulley, and this is the fun one, a Lotus cold air intake. So I got it off a Lotus Elise whenever I was working at the dealership I was, because we did a lot of Lotuses, and the Lotus tech was just like, hey, you got any use for this? I'm like, if it fits where the hole is in that leads to my passenger side fender well, I'll take it.
So this is an exotic.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just as fast as a Lotus now. They're actually upgraded brakes. They are 05 to 09 LGT front and rear calipers, rotors, and brake pads. They're Power Stop Z28s right now, so I do believe that they are the carbon ceramic pad drilled and slotted rotors. Oh, and the calipers have been on like multiple cars too. Got those from my cousin. They've been on 2 of his Foresters, and now they've been on my Burgundy wagon and this wagon.
What'd you do exhaust-wise?
Exhaust, it's just an eBay unequal length header. It's a 2015 WRX mid-pipe that I just chopped the Y end off to a single exit 2.5 inch to 3 inch Spintech Super Street Series 9000 muffler.
So you said there's an interesting backstory.
Yes, this car was originally supposed to be the parts car. I originally bought this car $500 as a parts car because my first wagon, it had a rotted out rear subframe. It had like 250,000 miles on it. And I was like, I need to get a parts car for it. So while my cousin was taking everything apart, he was like, hey, this car's a lot cleaner than yours. We might as well just put everything from the first car into this car and then scrap the first car. Might as well. It's a lower mileage chassis. It had almost 120,000 miles whenever I got it. And that was with the blown motor, towed it home, and within a couple weeks, I had this car up on the road with the heart and everything from the first car.
So it looks like you got a racing seat in there.
Yes, I do. That was actually just put in a couple of months ago. It's an older style Corbeau fixed back Forza seat. Bought it for $55 with a set. The other one was completely trashed, so I haven't used that yet. It's just been room art ever since I got it. This one, it was on my racing simulator for a while before I decided I might as well just see how bad it would be to daily with a fixed back racing seat.
And
Sometimes my back hates me, sometimes it doesn't.
So would you do the rear wheel drive conversion again if you had it all to do over again? Does
Oh, definitely.
It makes that big of a difference? Like
It makes not the biggest difference, but it does make a difference. When, like, sometimes whenever you're going through a corner, you have that natural Subaru understeer all the time whenever you're an all-wheel drive vehicle. But now that it's rear-wheel drive, if I get into it a little bit too much, I can definitely feel the ass end kick out and help me get through the corner a lot better than it used to. I've had a couple people go like, why would you make it rear-wheel drive? Whenever I like post it up on some of the Subaru sites, like, hey, this is the car. And then they're like, why would you do that? I'm like, because I want to have fun. This thing's not that fun all-wheel drive. It's like a Miata, but a lot bigger. It has low horsepower. It doesn't go anywhere, but you can definitely bring it around a track pretty fast if you know how to wheel it.
That's what I thought when you rolled in, just like a Miata.
I mean, at this point, it's more like a BRZ than anything. Low horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and doesn't like to go anywhere fast. No matter what I do to this car, it just runs. I can beat this thing every single day. I've had no problems. Yeah, there's just some things that I forget every now and again with this car. It's just, I've had it for so long, and then you just remember little key details every now and again. Like the headlights, those aren't stock. Those came off a sedan GT because the sedans were the only ones to have a single bulb, single high-low beam bulb. These, you have your low beam on top, high beam on the bottom. So I did that conversion, and it's just like little things that I always tend to forget on this car.
Doesn't sound like you'd ever get rid of it.
I've been debating on getting rid of it every now and again, but that's only just because I want to get into an Impreza chassis. I might just keep this, do something with it, maybe make it the tow rig for the Impreza chassis car, because there's a company that makes diesel boxer conversions for these, and I think that would be pretty cool. You have a diesel swap 03 Outback just as the tow rig for the drift car.